Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. I am Kelly Lee, where I talk about everything witchcraft and spiritual that I do in my everyday life, as well as aromatherapy, herbalism, and of course, tarot. So today we are doing a hashtag from Moonflower Moments that is hashtag my gratitude decks. Decks I'm most grateful for. Okay, so I have three, four, five. I have six decks here. So we are just going to hop right in to my gratitude deck. So first up is the Herb Crafters Tarot by artwork by Joanna Powell Colbert and written by Letitia Guthrie. So the herb, okay, if I can get it open. Okay. The Herb Crafters Tarot, I have such gratitude for this deck because number one, most, and maybe I just haven't found one until this one that I really vibed with, but I had never until this deck been able, this is the back. Oh, are you going to, boop, boop. This is the back. I had never found a deck that I could connect with on like an herbalism route that was tarot based. I have one that I had when around the time I like really first, well, not really first started getting into tarot, but a few years after. And I love it, but I never really vibed with it in the herbalism sense. But this one, I found this one and immediately I fell in love. I love the imagery. I love the herbs that they chose. I love everything about this deck. Now, do I wish that it didn't have borders? Of course. I am a borderless girly, but this deck, I have such gratitude for this deck because it does help me connect two of my passions in my life, tarot and herbalism. I just love these images. Look at that. Okay, so that was the Herb Crafters Tarot by Letitia Guthrie and Joanna Powell Colbert. Back in here. And I love the outside of the box too. Like that is just so pretty. And it is, you know, a good hard clamshell box. Love it. Next one on my list is the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krantz. This deck is one of the first decks that I found and purchased on my own. So this is the back. This deck has been with me for a very long time. I love the line work. I love, you know, the minimalistic color. I love I have been really, since the beginning, I've been really drawn to minimalistic decks. I do have a few that are, of course, not minimalistic, but my first true love is minimalistic line work. I absolutely love this deck. And when I got this deck, there was a lot of mixed reviews. So, because most people that I saw and talked to either loved this deck or hated it. And there was like no in between. But I did have, and still, and will always, look at that, absolutely 100% love this deck. I also love animals. Really helps me connect to it as well. Look at that, the sun. Oh, beautiful. The Hermit with the little turtle. He's so cute. The world. Look at that. So, so pretty. Had this for a very, very, very long time. So, Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Crayons. Boop, boop, boop. Next on my list is the Naked Heart Tarot by Julian C. Wild. This deck was the very, very, very first indie deck that I found. I followed the author. I followed the creator from like almost day one of her creating this deck. And as soon as it was done, I purchased it. So this was my very first indie purchased, watched it from beginning to end, purchased deck, and I was not disappointed. So this is the back, and these backs can also be used as a crystal grid as well if you're into that. So very minimalistic. Oh, and she has had a couple more editions come out, and I do believe that this is now a mass market deck as well, but I did purchase this before it became mass market. Look at that. So pretty. Very minimalistic. Animals, of course. A lot of line work. The Fool is a little unicorn. She does also, in hers, she will have elemental symbols, astrological symbols, things like that. The Naked Heart, she does have an extra card in there called the Naked Heart. So pretty. Cardstock is amazing. Ooh, the sun. Cardstock is amazing. It's very easy to shuffle. This deck is very it says what it says, and it stands by what it says. I love this deck so much. So, the Naked Heart Tarot by Julian C. Wild. Okay. Next, probably no surprise that I have included these two decks in this My Gratitude decks hashtag. The Marielle Tarot. This deck, if you've watched any of my past videos about the Morgan, this deck is what I use to communicate with the Morgan. So this is the back right here. I don't keep it in its box, really. I keep it with my journal because the box is quite large. Look at that. Oh, trigger or just a warning in general, this deck does have some nudity. Not a lot, but some nudity. I will say this is the first edition of this deck, and later editions, they did change the imagery on one of these cards because folks, I guess, didn't really connect with it or didn't really like it. I liked it. It was, let me see if I can find it here. I don't know if I'll show it, but I can see if I can find it. Yes, okay. Yes, so the Hierophant. So this is the Hierophant in the first edition, and a lot of people did not like that imagery. I assume, because they did go on to eventually change it. but I find that provocative imagery that makes me think. It makes me go internal. It makes me really question things. It makes me really take an internal look and an external look. Queen of Cups. So, the Mariel Tarot by Mary White. Okay, next is the Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. I did just recently do a video about this deck. This is the deck that I am using to communicate with Baba Yaga. So this is the back. So this deck gives me like a visceral reaction whenever I see certain images. I love this deck so much, and to be honest, part of me, like, I love that I found a deck that I really connect with Baba Yaga with, but another part of me, because I don't use these decks for anything else, so another part of me is really like, I really wish, and I may just purchase another deck, another one of these, so I can use it for my personal use. I just don't know yet. But I really wish that, like, I love this so much, I want it for my personal use as well. Like, look at that. And now that I'm saying that, I don't think that the Baba Yaga would be upset or mad that I would have multiple uses for this tarot deck. But I personally, I like having one singular deck dedicated to my deity, because that's just part of how I venerate them. It's a part, look at that. It's a part how I venerate them. It's a part of my ritual. Like, oh my God, that moon card. I love it so much. I love this moon card so much. I already have a moon tarot card tattooed on me. I may get this one tattooed on me as well. And maybe just have like a whole thigh of just moon card tattoos. That would be pretty badass. But this deck is amazing. Oh, that one was upside down. Or no. No, it's not. This deck is just, oh, I love it so much. Okay, so Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. That's also a very cool last name, Jeremy Hush. Boop. Okay, last one. Probably not surprised by this one either. Is my OG tarot deck, the Medieval Scapini. I did just do this so this deck was also in another hashtag I did called hashtag the deck that, and this was included in that as well, but I had to, this is the back, I had to include it here too because my gratitude for this deck knows no bounds. Like I've said before, this deck was given to me by my sister. It was also the very first deck that, the deck I used when I read for a stranger for the very first time. And it clicked for me that tarot was something that I could really lean into. And it was something that I could enjoy. And it was going to be a lifelong pursuit for me. Medieval Scapini. Look at that death card. There is a card in here, too, that every time I see it, and anytime anyone else sees it, they have a visceral reaction to it. Let me see if I can find it here. I may have already looked at, oh, this one right here. This is the Knight of Wands, and he looks like he is almost stitched together. And he's leading some folks away from a city, but how he, like, if you can see, like he's like stitched almost like Frankenstein, which is kind of weird because we just watched the new Frankenstein movie from Guillermo del Toro, which was really, 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 really good. But people have a visceral reaction to this card. But that is the Medieval Scapini by Luigi Scapini. The box for this has long since, it came in one of the paper, just like flip boxes, and that box long since like completely fell apart. And so I went searching for an actual like box for it because this is my baby. But that has been my gratitude deck. Hold on, let me look at my gratitude decks I'm most grateful for. Been all of these decks right here. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video. Let me know down below which deck you liked the most. What is your deck that you are most grateful for? Do all the things, like, subscribe, comment, follow. And I wish you nothing but the best day, week, month, year. Blessings and growth to all of you. And I will see you next time. Bye.